This is Uwe Alsen, the Opel driver, and Opel's hoping he can improve on a 3-2 finish at Wunsdorf. This is the man everyone's chasing, Laurent Aiello in his Peugeot. He leads the points. He leads in victories. And this is his challenger, Joachim Winkelhock in the BMW. Can he catch up to Aiello? That's some of the questions today. We'll find out in the Super Touring Car Cup, coming to you today from Zweibruecken, Germany. Hello everyone, welcome to Zweibruecken. This is Milt Fitzwater reporting. It's an airport course. We have a warm day today and a great crowd on hand for the racing in the Super Touring Car Cup. 2 races make up each day, a sprint and a feature. And the qualifying was held yesterday. And this man, Laurent Aiello in his Peugeot, took the pole position for the 5th time in a sprint race, but all didn't go quite that well.
We are not very happy with the car. We don't know exactly what happened with the car because when we came here for the free practice, we were very quick. The car was good, and now I don't know what happened. We have a lot of understeer. Maybe it's a question of temperature. Now the track is nearly 10 or 15 degrees more than last times, and I think we have to change everything, the setting of the car. So I'm not very confident for the moment.
On the outside pole in that white BMW, Johnny Cecotto. That's not bad start here at this airport course in Zweibruecken.
No, it's not bad, and unfortunately at the end we had a bad luck. I tried again, was a good lap, but I had to stop. We had problems with the engine. It was not running well, and so I couldn't finish the lap.
Starting third is his teammate Joachim Winkelhock, second in the points, and he took that third position in the last second of qualifying. In the 4th slot, the Audi of Ivan Muller, the best start for him this season. There's your course. 2.79 kilometers, 1.73 miles, basically a rectangle with 2 first gear corners.
Many people say it's maybe a circuit for the front-wheel drive because it's quite a lot of straight. But it's a lot of slow corner with a lot of traction problem. So for the Quattro it's not bad also. Okay, with the front-wheel drive we are fast in the straight, but the Quattro is a bit better on the traction, on the exit of the slow corner.
Opel has installed its new Phase 2 motors in the cars. Uwe Alsen used one successfully in Wunsdorf. Here in Zweibruecken, though, well, the best they could qualify was only 11th.
No, we concentrate us for the race, and that means we are on the safety side with our tires. And that means we had only one turn to be quick, and that was not enough for this kind of circuit here. But I'm not unhappy. The cars are very stable in lap times, and I think the race will be good for us.
And the drivers have faith in the new motor, and it'll get another test today.
Yeah, the motor is very good, but it's not our last step for this season. We try to do more for the next few races, and hopefully it's getting better.
And a good crowd on hand, as we've said, as they look ahead to the racing today. But many people are starting to look ahead to next year and exactly what will be the Super Touring Car Cup 1998.
First of all, we are in our 4th season now, and we have had a progress from year to year, let's say 25% increase in spectators, in television coverage, and also in media coverage. And we hope that we can continue like this. But the main point we will have for next year is, this year we are running it as a Super Touring Car Cup, and next year we will have the official status as a German championship.
All right, is that a difficult thing to do, to change from a cup to a national series like that?
Yes, the FIA has a regulation that you can hold only maximum 1 race outside of the country. And up to now, because we had other race series, we were not able to hold all the races in Germany. So from next year on, we will reduce our races outside of Germany in order to get the official title.
So it's time to go racing. Racing for, well, just about everybody. This young man has some things to do before the race can start, but he's just about ready. And so are the rest of the fans. Green flag. Cars are lined up. We're ready for the sprint race here in Zweibruecken. Aiello, the yellow Peugeot on the left. On the right, Johnny Cecotto in the BMW. And we're underway. Everyone getting away very nicely here. The course goes into a dip, stays very long straight, and look at that. Cecotto has got the jump on Aiello for the 2nd time in a row. Aiello has had to yield to a BMW, it looks like, at the start. For some reason, he just doesn't get away quick enough, and Cecotto has, as they go into the left-hander. They come up that hill, they make this left-hander, there's a short chute, then comes another left-hander and a bump. You can see it right there. They really jerk through that bump as they head down a straight toward the one major chicane on this airport circuit. Ciccato is out in front, then comes Aiello, then comes Jochen Winkelhock, and look at that, Christian Menzel in another BMW is running fourth, and then it's Jörg van Olmen in the sister car to Aiello's Peugeot. There's the chicane. It's the first gear through that tight corner. They come out of there and head toward another left-hander that'll bring them by the grandstand. This has been changed over the last couple of years, the way they come in here. They have to swing out like that, and then they cut back through a very narrow section and have to shift down into a first gear corner, which takes them around toward the start-finish line. It's a wide and then narrows here, as you can see, as Johnny Ciccato has the lead after the first lap here in Zweibruecken. Ciccato in the BMW. And the rest of those gray Audis are running well here. Ivan Müller has the two-wheel drive, and they bump. It's a bump there between Winkelhock and Aiello, and look at this. Ciccato has taken advantage of it. Johnny Ciccato has slipped into second place. Aiello has taken over first, but that was quite a bump there going into the first corner. So Laurent Aiello, the man that has won most of the races this season, has taken the lead. Let's take a look at it. Aiello goes in. He made a mistake. He got on the brakes way too late, and Winkelhock didn't have a chance. So now Jochen Winkelhock has dropped back to third. Johnny Ciccato is running second, the two BMWs, and out in front, the Peugeot of Laurent Aiello. You're riding in the Honda of Marco Werner. He's back in the pack just a little bit of ways. Here you get a look at this chicane. Now you're with Roland Asch. This is the other car that we have. Ahead of him is Niedzwitz in the Audi. And they're coming down the straightaway. But there goes your leader, the first and second, third cars. And look at those gray Audis. They're up in that lead pack. You've got 7 cars running together up front, spread out between Peugeot, BMW, and Audi. And the Audis are running in a pack. Be interesting to see what happens here. You've got Müller, as we were saying, on the two-wheel drive Audi, and the other ones have the four-wheel drive. They've done well in the long runs in their tests here, but the question is, how will it go later? Back in the pack, let's take a look what happened here. A little bit of bumping going on, trying to get through that corner. It was tight, but everybody seemed to come through pretty clearly. Through the big chicane. Audis competing with themselves there. They're running 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Keep in mind, Audi, the defending champion, has not won a race yet this season. And they were quite honestly thinking that this may or may not be a chance, but they are not the most optimistic of crew. They really have gone through a rebuilding this year. They have extra weight. It's been very difficult for them, but it's not been difficult for the man in the yellow Peugeot. He has just taken off and left everybody behind, and it looks like he's trying to do that here. Laurent Aiello, simply a dominant force this year in his Peugeot. There you get a look at some of the rest of the field coming along. There is in that white, pure white BMW is the young rookie, Christian Menzel. What a great drive he's had this year. He'll be Rookie of the Year, obviously. The way he is driven, there's not much competition. Looking at Christian Donner, and he has had some tire problems, evidently bumped and the metal is scraping. Here comes Jochen Winkelhock, and he gets by Johnny Ciccato. Winkelhock gets by Ciccato. Now you have to remember, there's not only a battle on the track with Peugeot, but there also is an unofficial battle in the BMW team. These two are teammates. But as we get toward the end of the season, the one that has the most points will then get the advantage of being the #1 driver to the end, hoping that he can win the championship. So it's very important for both of them to finish well. Right now, Winkelhock is the man that's out in front of those two. Ciccato needs to get by and finish ahead of Winkelhock and hope to pick up some points. So you have a battle within a battle here. Although, look at this, Laurent Aiello is pulling away. He has some breathing room between the two BMWs from the factory team, and keep in mind, this Christian Menzel right there in that white BMW is not a full factory back car. That is a private car, an independent car, and he's doing very, very well. But right in his rearview mirror are a pack of Audis. Once again, you're with Roland Asch, and he's trying to pull up Asch in the Nissan, but he has Klaus Niedzwitz, a veteran driver in an Audi. He looks like he wants to get by. He might make the move here. heading into the chicane. It looks like he made it. Here's that first gear corner. Get a good look at it coming out. Now there's a straight here that'll take them down to that busy section before the grandstand you see over on the left there. There's some of the action in the back right there. That is in that one that says Auto on it. That is Niedzwitz. Behind him is Roland Osh. Well, Osh has now gotten by him. There you see it. Osh is by him, so those were the cars you saw just a moment ago back in the pack just a little bit of a ways. In fact, they're running back around 14th or 15th. You're riding now with Marco Werner in the Honda. He's had some very good races this season, and he's had some other problems this season. Honda not doing quite as well as they might like. In the beginning of the season, they were running up in the lead group, but right now, he's back in the pack just a little bit. In fact, ahead of him is Leopold van Bayern in a BMW. Get another look at this bump, and then that left-hander. Now you're riding with Marco Werner. You can watch as the sequential shifting goes into effect. And you can see how busy it gets here on a Sunday afternoon in Zweibruecken. Once again, a look at Leopold van Bayern ahead of him. Looks like they're going by one of the Alfa Romeos. That is the Donner car. Something must be wrong with him, or he hasn't come in yet, or he came in and has come back out on the course. Here's this narrow section they've added. In fact, last night, here's Donner. Let's take another look at this. There you can see the problem with the tire. That corner we showed you just a moment ago, they re-asphalted it last night. It had a lot of breakup. The course broke up quite a bit yesterday, and there probably will be some today. Look at that. There's an Opel. That is the yellow and white Opel of Kurt Thiem. Thiem has been charging for the last couple of races. He had jumped in the car brand new in the first part of the season. It took him a while to adjust to it and get used to the car after coming out of the International Touring Car Championship. And now he's doing very well, keeping Opel's colors quite high, in fact. He brought that car in up front more and more along with Uwe Alsen. Those two have been right now the flag carriers for Opel, but there's Müller. That is the two-wheel drive. Then comes Pirro, the defending champion. He has four-wheel drive in his Audi. But right now, the two-wheel drive seems to be the one that's running well, but it looks like Pirro wants to go by his teammate, as everybody else works their way around toward the start-finish line once again, right down the road along pit lane. Look at this. The top three have spread out just a little bit. Aiello still leads, Winkelhock and then Ciccardo. And here comes Müller in the Audi. Then comes Pirro. Menzel is falling back, and he has more Audis to contend with. He has Philipp Peter from Austria right behind him. So the young driver has got his hands full here, contending with the factory cars. Another look at the course here, as we're right up behind one of the apt Audis, coming around this left-hander with the bump. You see that bump, it throws the cars around. This is Roland Osh at work. Very animated driver. I don't know if we'll see it, and you see that grin on his face. For some reason, he always gets in a good mood, it looks like. We've asked him about it a number of times, and he says he doesn't really aware of it. He's really just enjoying himself, but he doesn't think about the grinning. It's just part of the way he drives. There's Müller. There's Pirro. And Müller had his best start today, starting fourth. And here comes Pirro. He's going by Müller. No, not quite. Maybe he took the slipstream just a little bit too early. They head out now to the dip, and then it's uphill into the left-hander. It's not quite a blind left-hander. There is a straight up on top, but it's awfully close. Here you can see, oh, look at the bump. One of the Audis bumped Menzel, and parts flew just a little bit. Can get a little bit tight in the racing here in the Super Touring Car Cup. Pirro's still not able to get by Müller. And Kurt Thiem definitely sandwiched himself in there between the back two factory Audis. Now this sprint race is the shorter, of course, of the two races. The feature race at double length compared to this one. So the drivers know they want to run. They want to get as many points as they can. And Kurt Thiem hit the wall. Kurt Thiem hit the wall. And Pirro did not make it by Müller. So the battle up here between Müller and Pirro continues, and Kurt Thiem has gone off. Kurt Thiem has gone off the course after hitting the wall. a disappointment for the Danish driver. And Miller continues to hold off Pirro. Just continuing what we're talking about quickly about the first race. The drivers know that they want to try to get as much out of this first race as they can, but they also know they want to finish it, because if you can't finish this one, then you don't get to run the longer race with even more points. So there's a bit of tactic involved here. You want to drive as hard as you can, but you don't want to overextend the car that much. You also don't want to take unnecessary chances here in the first race. Although sometimes the way they're driving, and you wouldn't know that. And Menzel really had to get on the brakes. Menzel had to get on the brakes and gave up a position to Philip Pater. Menzel was too late in the braking, and Philip Pater took advantage and got by him. There's Kurt Thiem's car in the pits. They're going to have to work on it. They're definitely going to have to work on that one. And Pirro is now by Miller. So Emanuele Pirro has moved into fourth place. Here's another look at it. Wow, Menzel really got on the brakes too late there. And Peter just slipped inside and got by him. So the Audis are regrouping once again. Tamara Vidali's the lone gray Audi there, not in the group of four. And Kurt Thiem, they're going to push him back into the garage area to see what they can do to fix it and maybe get him out for the second race. Another disappointment for the Danish driver. Very popular, very friendly driver. Right now, probably a very unhappy driver. So there is the group of Audis, Pirro, Miller, and then comes Philip Pater. Then comes young Christian Menzel. Oh, and part of his car is hanging down. That'll mean they'll have to bring him in. I'm sure he'll get a flag here shortly saying, come on in, you got to fix that. Tamara Vidali in the other Opel right behind him. She needs to get by him. Kurt Thiem's out of the car. Now let's wait and see what they do here. This has happened a couple of times this season, and it's meant that they've had to come in and take care of it. One driver didn't quite do that and picked up a penalty, and that hurt. So most of the drivers now, if they have a problem and get that flag, are in relatively quickly. They get the flag and then they have a couple laps to react to it. Although nobody really wants to do it that much. Here comes Philip Pater on the right. That is Mueller on the left. Pater wants to get by him. He's also in a four-wheel drive, and he gets by Mueller in the two-wheel drive. Next year, the two-wheel drive front wheel will be mandatory, so Audi is using Mueller as a test car, and Marco Venner is coming into the pits. So one of our camera cars coming in. He has not been running well here in Zweibruecken, not as well as he's run in other races. There's Uwe Alsen on the right in the Opel. He's trying to move up. He started back in the pack, as did most of the Opels. So he's had to work his way up, but that's not the first time this season he's had to do that. He is a very competitive driver. He will fight his way forward no matter what happens. We're still watching here Christian Menzel. And Menzel bumps into Vidali as he tries to go by him. And they go into the hairpin first gear corner, and Vidali is by. Menzel's going to have to come in pretty quick. He's got some problems, and they're not going to let him stay out there, I don't think. He's now lost the position. He's driven very well this season. He wants to finish. He wants to stay up front. He's a very competitive young driver. Here comes Manuel Reuter in the Opel. Let's take a look here what happened. Menzel came back through and ran into Vidali. He just got a little bit too wide trying to set up for the next corner and got out wide and bumped into Tamara. Lost another position. They go into the hairpin here, and Tamara then finally gets by him. Here's Uwe Alsen in his Opel. There's Manuel Reuter coming through, and they've gotten by Vidali. Thanks to that little collision between Vidali and Christian Menzel, the two Opels took advantage of it. Here comes Alsen, then Christian Abt in an Audi, and then comes Manuel Reuter. Behind Reuter, Vidali, and then Christian Menzel. This is the battle around the 8th, 9th, and 10th spot. Good look there at part of the car hanging down. Here's something else that happened earlier. There is Leopold from Bayern. He gets sideways and bumps into one of the Audis. The Prince had his problems again. Here comes Uwe Alsen. once again charging up. He's running right now, believe it or not, right around, well, he's in 7th place according to the way we have it. And that's a great start for him. He was way back around 15th when he started the race. So he's done very well. But Vidali now is moving up on Reuter, and you can see here that Leopold von Bayern got just a little bit wide. Manuel Reuter also not having the kind of season he'd like to have. Opel definitely had to do a lot of work this year coming into this series. And it's taken him several races before the car has really been up there and been competitive. Vidali now trying to get by Reuter. Whether she can make that or not, we're not sure, but this would be back in the 9th and 10th slot. Reuter running 9th right now. Actually, it's quite a good finish for him and for Opel. They, as you heard in the beginning, didn't want to use up their tires. There's the call for Christian Menzel to come in. So the young BMW star is going to have to come in and get that bumper taken care of. Either that or he could face disqualification from the race if he doesn't come in. Now the other drivers will slowly get by him. He's got some problems. He's slowing down. He may not even make it into the pit area. He's been bumped around pretty good. You can see that damage on that right side of the car. And of course the bumper hanging down. It's changed the aerodynamics in that car considerably. Here's Manuel Reuter once again with Tamara Vidali. The battle for 9th and 10th. Here in Zweibruecken, Germany in the Super Touring Car Cup. The sprint race. The first of 2 races each weekend in the Super Touring Car Cup. Reuter, of course, the champion of the International Touring Car Championship, came back and came into this series, and a number of drivers have had to make that change from the 2.5 liter down to the 2, and some had their problems. We'll talk more about that between the races. She's in the slipstream. Whether she can get by or not, that's the question. Now you get a look at that tire of Christian Menzel. He's definitely going to have to see if he can make it to the pits now. It doesn't look like Tamara Vidali is going to be able to make the move on him here whatsoever. The Peugeot team pretty much content. Their man is out in front, but Jörg van Omen in the teammate car is not quite doing quite so well. There's Christian Abt. He is running 8th, which is great for this independent Audi. And there's your 9th place Manuel Reuter and Tamara Vidali. Reuter's done a tremendous amount of test work for Opel. He's one of the main test drivers they have, but it's been one of those years. And there's the man of the hour, so far anyway, Laurent Aiello in the Peugeot. He has taken the lead in the 2nd lap and has just extended it. He has a comfortable margin over Jochen Winkelhock, and there's your 3rd place car, the BMW of Johnny Cecotto. And look at this, Emmanuel Pirot will once again come in with a good finish for Audi and a good placing to set up for the 100-kilometer feature. Meanwhile, Manuel Reuter wants to hold off Tamara Vidali as we're coming down to the closing minutes of this sprint race here at the airport course in Zweibruecken, Germany. A number of airport courses this year for the series. Also a brand new course will be opened up for next year. These cars probably head for that one. Germany having a boom right now in places to race automobiles. Before there was only a couple of racetracks. Now if you take the airport courses, they've almost doubled the number of tracks. Here comes Tamara Vidali, and she can't get by. Back there is Alfred Hager. And look at that, Klaus Niedwitz in the independent Audi right there in the competition. This is the 11th and 12th place cars. But that's your leader. And he's in the final lap. Laurent Aiello. What a great season. 3 sprint race victories so far this year. He has just simply dominated things. And when he hasn't dominated, he sits back and finishes 2nd or 3rd to pick up points. He only had one where he didn't finish, and that was at the Norris Ring. So he's done well in the points and just keeps rolling. And here, he's just got to bring it home. Doesn't look like he's had any problem with tire wear. Every driver was worried about it here in the sprints because the tires they qualify on actually are part of the tires they're going to use in the first race, because they're only allowed 10 tires for the entire race weekend when it comes to qualifying and the races themselves. So you can see they have to kind of use at least a couple of the tires they qualify on if they want to have a good set left for the feature. And there it is, Laurent Aiello, the winner of the sprint race here in Zweibruecken. His 4th sprint victory this year. And finishing 4th, Pirot. And so the Audis have done extremely well. Look at that, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and also 8th. And as far as Aiello's concerned, everything seemed to go okay.
Yeah, but I'm not too happy with the overtake I've made with Joe Winkelhock, but I locked my front wheel and I touched him. I'm very sorry about it. But I'm happy because the car is much better than it was from the free practice. We improved the car a lot and now we can battle against the BMW. I'm happy about it.
Winkelhock came in 2nd, but things didn't go that well for him.
I must say I was a little bit surprised because, I mean, from the tire consumption from the Peugeot, because I expect in this weather condition, normally we should have an advantage, but okay. And so maybe, I'm not sure now, but maybe we have a chance in the second race, which we have 100 kilometers, 36 laps, so it's quite long. But already we have a little bit the problem in the end of the sprint race. But I must say I was a little bit disappointed from Laurent Aiello because I was leading in the 1st or 2nd lap. And okay, he was he was too late, absolutely too late on the brakes, and he pushed me off. So I did not expect something like this, but okay, if these are the rules, I can play this also.
So now the mechanics go to work to get the cars ready for the 2nd race of the day, and while they do that, that gives us a chance to take a look at one of the drivers in the Cup Series. Opel driver Uwe Alsen came to the series from the German Touring Car Championship. Some of the drivers who made the change had some adjustment problems. What about Uwe? Did it bother him at all?
Oh, not so long. After the first test, it was absolutely easy to drive the Vectra. It's no problem. It's a little bit loose in the rear, but no big problem.
The 29-year-old Alsen has driven just about everything you could imagine. His career progression suits him just fine.
Yeah, I have a good stand by Opel, and I think I have a good chance for the next year by Opel or by other company. I don't know. We must see. But I'm absolutely happy, yes.
This weekend, he's been under doctor's care. He was working out and injured his neck. There was just too much weight that he was working with, and it's been bothering him while he drives, but nothing has hampered his desire to compete, no matter where it is.
My ambition is to win races or to drive the races to the end and make points. And in the end of the year, we must see. And then it's very important that you have a lot of points, more than the other Opel drivers.
And we'll find out if these Opel fans can cheer even more today here in Zweibruecken. Ready to go in the feature race. Milt Fitzwater reporting from Zweibruecken, Germany, the airport course. Aiello in the yellow Peugeot on the left. Winkelhock in the BMW on the right. They've got green and we're underway in the feature race. 36 laps lie ahead on this 2.76 kilometer course, 1.73 miles. And look at that, Aiello has dropped back once again. He just hasn't got the good start that the BMWs have. And it's Cecotto on the right, and Winkelhock takes the lead as they go into the corner. And look at that, Emanuele Pirot has shoved past Laurent Aiello and has taken over 3rd. But the BMWs are dominating, and they're battling among each other. The rest of the field bounces through the corner. Winkelhock, your leader. Johnny Cecotto is running 2nd, and here comes Aiello. He wants to make the move on Pirot and can't. That would be the battle for 3rd place. The rest of the field sorting themselves out, but the Audis once again starting to gather to make a charge here. Whether they can do it or not, that's the question. There's your leader, Winkelhock. Once again, the yellow Peugeot pulls out to try to get by Pirot. He does. Laurent Aiello moves up to 3rd place. So he started on the pole, dropped back to 4th, and is now up into 3rd. He has just not had that luck or that skill, or it could be that there's a little bit difference in the two cars and the BMW just has an advantage starting from a stop position. Who knows? But Aiello has had to battle back the last couple of races when he's been on the pole and one of those BMWs on the outside pole. It's just been difficult for him. He's running third right now as they head up the hill again into the left-hander. And Johnny Ciccato simply cut off Aiello. And Aiello cuts inside to get by him, and Ciccato cuts back inside. Ciccato's not one of the easiest drivers to get past. But Aiello did do it. There was evidently a little bit of bumping. And here comes Pirro. He's working on Ciccato. Pirro on the outside in that gray Audi with the gray mirrors. Back in the pack. A little bit of bumping going on. Whoa! And Leopold von Bayern is one of those involved in it. Aiello running second now as he has gotten by Ciccato. So Winkelhock is your leader. Laurent Aiello has moved into second place. Ciccato is running third. Pirro is running in fourth slot. But he is not pulling away. The one that's pulling away seems to be Winkelhock after the great start and a little help from Ciccato, who cut off Aiello and gave Winkelhock a little bit of breathing room. The rest of the field sorting itself out very nicely. There's Uwe Alsen, the man we saw during the break between the races in his Opel. He's moving up on Tamara Vidali, and he's making a charge in the Opel. Who knows, maybe once again he can bring it up front. He finished third and second in Wunsdorf, surprising just about everybody, except himself, of course. But he is on a charge, and a big charge. Whether he can hold on or not, let's see what happens. You're riding once again in the Nissan of Roland Asch. Roland back in the pack a little bit. The Nissan has not gone quite as well as the team would have liked. You get another look at this chicane. Rather, this is the left-hander leading to the chicane to the start-finish. And there comes one of the apt Audis right by Roland Asch. So Roland still continues to have a few problems here. The Nissan has some work to do before it's competitive and another car gets by him. Uwe Alsen continues to charge here. What a great move. He's running right around 7th place. And a driver's been called in for consultation. And that is one of the Alfa Romeos that'll be called in. Now, Alfa Romeo is having its share of bad luck this season, and to be called in like that, it just adds to the problems. Bamberger is the driver that's being called in, but it's just one of those years for Alfa Romeo. The car is just not competitive with the other factory cars here. They do not have factory participation, so Alfa Romeo has to really fight back from a major deficit here this year. There's hope that next year Alfa Romeo might step back in with a factory entry. They then would become suddenly competitive. The cars they're running here just don't quite seem to have the pep they need to keep up. Klaus Niedwitz continues to run well. That's really great the way this independent Audi driver is running right now. He's back in 11th position, but he has been running strong all day long. It's amazing how he's doing. The rest of the field sorting itself out. There's Roland Asch in the Nissan right there going out of the screen. Manuel Reuter behind him, and then comes Chris Nissen in one of the apt Audis, those day glow yellow. You can't miss them. They're right out there everywhere to see. And he goes right by. Christian Abt passes Tamara Vidali. Now taking a look at action back in the pack, this is Jorg van Olmen who gets by one of the Alphas of Sminkler. Now Van Olmen had problems in the first race right off and dropped way back. Started the second race at the back end of the field. So he's got a long haul if he wants to try to catch up with the leaders. He's had an up and down season as the co-Peugeot driver with Laurent Aiello. There's once again Christian Abt and Tamara Vidali. They're battling back in the pack right now, although Christian Abt has really done very well here. He's running, if the statistics are correct, he's running right around 8th place right now. So he's actually up in the top 10. He's doing well. Here's that dip. They come up the hill. There's a short straight. It's not quite a blind corner, but you come over that hill quick and the decisions have to be made. There's Klaus Niedwitz in the independent Audi doing extremely well. He's now running 10th. We'll take a look at official standings after 5 laps here. Engsler has come into the pits, and they're working on his car. There you see how well Audi's doing, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tremendous race for them, and they're not that far back. Hager in the Honda, running 8th. There's Christian Opp, the man we've been talking about in that day glow color. Vidali 10th. Nieswitz is back in at 11th. But running extremely well for an independent driver. Once again, you're riding with Marco Vanner in the Honda. Over the shoulder shot at a man at work on Sunday afternoon. The sequential gearing, up and down shift is simply forward or backward movement. Quite efficient. You can see how technical these 2-liter cars have become. Marco Vanner hoping, of course, to improve on what's been an up and down season, but right now it's pretty much of a downer for him. Here comes Aiello. He is now closed in on your leader, Jochen Winkelhock. Aiello had dropped back, maybe to conserve tires and then to make a charge, but now he's made it. He's right up on the back bumper. He's filling that rear view mirror, and right back there in 3rd place is Johnny Ceccato. So it's BMW, Peugeot, BMW, and then Emmanuel Pirot in the Audi. This is a question of how much do I want to use the tires and when, because it's a long run and you know the tires are going to wear down toward the end of the race. The question is, how long do I want to push? And that's the question that Aiello is going to have to answer here. He's had to battle back after a bad start from 4th. He's now up into 2nd. He'd like to get out in the lead and be able to control this race a little bit, but right now he's not able to do it. And Jochen Winkelhock is not going to be an easy man to get by, particularly after their sprint race confrontation. But Aiello is right up on the back bumper. They've got the chicane coming, the first gear corner leading down the front straight, so it looks like they could probably get that far if Aiello can pull in and set up for a slipstream. But it will not be easy to get by. Jochen is a very experienced touring car driver. He's driven in England and done very well. He's done in the German Touring Car Championship. He's done extremely well no matter where he's driven. Here comes Aiello. He's going the hard way. He's going outside. Winkelhock has the inside line, and he's not going to give it up. In fact, he's kind of saying, stay out of my line. He keeps the lead, or does he? And look at this. Johnny Ceccato goes inside and almost bumps into Aiello. We've had a major change here. Aiello looks to take the lead, but Ceccato is now battling for it. Ceccato, who had been back a ways, took advantage of the battle between Aiello and Winkelhock, and Johnny Ceccato has the line to take the lead, and he does. Johnny Ceccato, with one victory in a race, the feature race to his credit, looking for a second victory and also some needed points to get back into the title chase, has taken the lead here in Zweibruecken at the airport course, Zweibruecken, Germany. So BMW still out in front, Peugeot second, but a little bumping just to hang on to second. And Jochen Winkelhock is running 3rd, and he has to contend with Emmanuel Pirot. Pirot has closed the gap thanks to that little bumping incident, and he is now running right up on the back bumper of Jochen Winkelhock. We have a quartet here running very tight. Let's take another look at this. Aiello pulls out on what's the difficult side, the outside, because Winkelhock has the line to the left-hander coming up, and Winkelhock is not going to give him any room. As Aiello tries to come in, Winkelhock just keeps going straight. Said, it's my line, I'm going to take it. He does. Aiello has to back off, and look at that. Coming up from behind is Ceccato. Wow, a little bit of revenge maybe, but it cost him the lead. And also dropped him 2 positions. Amazing. So we pick up the action now in the 14th lap. Aiello still running behind Johnny Ceccato. He stayed with him, and it's now going to be a matter of who's going to have the best tires. But look at this. Emmanuel Pirot has now moved into 3rd place. Emmanuel Pirot in the Audi has passed Jochen Winkelhock and is running in 3rd. So Audi looking for its very best finish yet this season. If he can come in third, what a great day for Audi. It would be the second time this season that Pirro has finished third. He was third at the Norris Ring, came back with 2 disappointing races in Wunsdorf, didn't finish either one of them. So now he's trying to redeem himself here in Zweibruecken, and he's running third, a very strong third. And the track, as you can see, is starting to break up. We mentioned before that this first gear corner they're going through now, leading up to the start-finish line, was repaved overnight because it had broken up. The rest of the track is starting to break up. So the four-wheel drive Audis will have an advantage here over the front drive cars. No question about it. And Aiello has been passed by Pirro. Laurent Aiello is now back in 4th position. Look at that. He is holding on. He cannot get by Pirro. Pirro is running unbelievably well. Here it is. Let's take a look at it. Pirro goes inside. Here he comes. They go through the first gear corner, and he's got it. An unusual situation for Laurent Aiello. But some very tough racing today in the Super Touring Car Cup here in Zweibruecken, Germany. Lead changing hands. And also some very tight competition, 1 through 4. Normally one driver has had a chance to get a lead or maybe had to exchange it once, but here the lead is changing hands regularly and there's competition all the way back here. It's amazing that the dominant force, Laurent Aiello, now has dropped back to 4th, and he's dropping back further. He will not be a contender at this point. Christian Abt in the Audi has come into the pits. Problem for the Abt Sportsline team. But Pirro continues to make his charge. He's getting by some of the slower cars, but he is doing an extremely strong driving chore here. He has kept Audi in the picture all the way. They've got slow traffic ahead of them, and he's right up on the bumper of Johnny Cecotto. The question is, can he get by him? The Audi fans have a chance to cheer. It's amazing. They have come back extremely strong here. Cecotto is leading, then comes Pirro, then comes Aiello. And here comes the Audi, and he gets by. Pirro gets by. And he now has the lead. So for the first time this season, an Audi is out in front of a Super Touring Car Cup event. And the man is the defending champion, Emmanuel Pirro. Wow, what a change of fortunes. Take another look at it as he goes inside, gets by, and takes the lead. And now they go by Leopold von Bayern as they lap him. The question now is, what about Laurent Aiello? Can he make another charge? It doesn't look like it. But coming up there right now, behind the lap car on the right now, the gray Audi just going by, is Philipp Peter. Now he is the teammate of Emmanuel Pirro, and he has been putting on a charge here in the last part of the race. So right now, Audi is running 1st and 4th, which will be by far their best performance so far this season. But Emmanuel Pirro, your leader, amazing. Who would have thought it? The track is breaking up, and maybe that has to do with it. The four-wheel drive Audi has an advantage in that situation. And this is the last year that they'll be using the four-wheel drive. They have to go to front-wheel drive next year, so they might as well take advantage of it as they can. Running third, Laurent Aiello. What's important for him right now is to keep Jochen Winkelhock behind him. Because Winkelhock is second in the points. If Aiello can finish ahead of him, then he has a chance to pick up some more points and a little bit on the lead. Now Cecotto will close, but Cecotto is quite a ways back, so it will not hurt Laurent Aiello so badly if they were to finish as they're running at this moment. But right now, Philipp Peter is putting the pressure on. He is pulling up on Laurent Aiello. Obviously, Laurent Aiello is not as competitive in the beginning as he was in the beginning of the race, and Philipp Peter has a chance to take over third and pick up a podium spot. But he's going to have to work hard to get by Laurent Aiello. He's working at it, but he's not there yet. He is not there yet. Can he slipstream and take it here? You know that's what he's got in his mind. The question is he going to be able to do it or not? In feature events, Peter's best finish right now is a 4th place. Or rather a 5th place. He's running 4th. So he would have a chance for his best finish this season if he can hold on to at least 4th. But it looks like he wants more. He's just got to figure out a way to get by Laurent Aiello to take over 3rd place. He's right there. He's either waiting for a mistake or he's going to try to take him out of a slipstream. Let's wait and see. He's inside before the left-hander. Oh, he's got the position. He should make the pass here. He's got him. Philip Pater takes over 3rd place, and Audi is running 1st and 3rd. Amazing. And Laurent Aiello back into 4th place. You're once again riding with Roland Asch in the Nissan. And he has Manuel Reuter in front of him as they head down the long straightaway here with the pits off to the right. The airfield goes over to the left. There's a little bit of a downhill, then an uphill bump here, and then they go downhill again. There you see them from the outside. Heading up the hill, heading over to the right. You can see they come up over the hill. They got a short mark here, and then they have to make the left-hander. Asch pulls up, but makes no move to get by. The short chute, comes the bump, and then another straightaway. Whoa, you can see that Manuel Reuter's car took a real jump there. And then they have to set up for the long chicane. It's actually a left-hander, short chute, and then a first gear right-hander. Everybody uses the curbs, heads on out. If you get a good jump here, you've got a great lead heading into that left-hander. And Reuter is certainly holding off Roland Asch in the Nissan. It's Opel against Nissan, and you're getting, once again, a driver's view as we go into the first gear corner where all the action of passing of the Audis is taking place. And once again, we're coming down the long front straightaway. This is the battle now for 10th position. Reuter's running 10th. Asch is running 11th in the Nissan. Back in the pack, this is Danny File. He's got problems. Goes off into the grass in the Alfa Romeo. And since we just came back, Manuel Reuter has extended his lead on Roland Asch here. Once again into the chicane with the first gear right-hander. But there's your leader, Emmanuel Pirot. He's in the last lap. And you know that everybody in the Audi crew is crossed their fingers. They don't know what to do. They just can hang on and hope that Emmanuel Pirot, the defending series champion, can come up with his first victory this season and bring Audi from way back in the pack to way up front. Johnny Cecotto will not be a factor as far as trying to run the leader down, but he's going to have to hold off. Look at this, Philip Pater, who's running 3rd. Cecotto's going to have his hands full. Philip Pater has one more chance if he wants to do it and take the risk of trying to get by Johnny Cecotto and take over 2nd place. But Audi certainly is going to be happy with a 1st and a 3rd here. The cameras stay with this battle for the slot for 2nd place. Cecotto holds on. Meanwhile, the Audi of Manuel Pirot has taken the checkered flag. Audi will finish 1st and 3rd here in Zweibruecken.
Congratulations. It's taken a while, but you finally have the victory.
Yeah, it was a long way, but we saw yesterday that all our endurance runs we did have been very good, and we've been quite sure that the front-wheel drive cars would run into troubles. So it worked, finally.
When was the last time you can remember tears like this?
Last year, championship.
There they are, the top 10. Audi 1st, 3rd, 6th, and 7th. Peugeot, Laurent Aiello 4th, but the man of the day, Emmanuel Pirot.
I only thought about winning the race halfway through the race when I saw that I realized the 3 leaders, they didn't really speed up. I mean, despite the fighting against each other, they were not able to really go away. And then I thought, if their tires go off, I might have a chance, but how do I pass them, because they're quicker on a straight? Then I found a really nice spot to pass them, and I kept very quiet before I could, I decided to attack. And then I tried with Winkelhock, it worked, and I saw it wasn't able to repass me. And then I thought, wow, if it works with the other two, it could be a good thing. And it did, and I'm really happy.
There's the points. Aiello's still in front, Winkelhock second, but look at that. Johnny Ciccato has closed the gap just a little bit, and your winner, Manuel Pirro, is fifth. But Ciccato's the man who can smile.
It was very hard for the tires. I had to save them as much as possible, and at the end it was a good result. I hoped I could keep Pirro behind, but it was impossible.
So the cars will be packed up and moved out, and one of those celebrating today will be Philip Pater with his third place finish.
We had two different kind of tires, Emmanuel and me, and the one of Emmanuel we were better in the beginning, mine were better at the end, and it was a great race, maybe one of the best. I really tried to control the tires in the first laps, and then I pushed very hard, but also to take Johnny, I should take a little risk in the last lap, and I didn't want it. I was happy with the third place.
There's the next stop on the tour, the Salzburg Ring, and the next stop for the Super Touring Car Cup cars. That does it for our coverage of the Super Touring Car Cup from Zweibruecken, Germany today. This is Milt Fitzwater reporting. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. See you in Salzburg.